All right, guys, we are live. We're live across all platforms. This is a different live today. We're going to talk about what I miss about being in Africa. I've been in the United States now for 3 months. And if you want to know what I miss about being in Africa, then this is the video for you. All right. So, again, we are live. Oh, actually, let me know if you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up so I know that you guys can hear me. This is a last minute change to the live. So if you can hear me, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and then let me know where you guys are watching from. This is not going to be a long live today. Last week we did Who is Better for Africa, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Since it looks like Kamala Harris is the presumptive nominee from the Democratic Party. Just before I went live, it had been announced that the day before I went live, it had been announced that Joe Biden had actually decided not to run for president in the next term. So today we are going to talk about my experience moving back and how I feel, what I miss. So again, I see people joining. Anybody who is joining alive, let me know if you have if you can hear me, and also where you watching from. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and let me know where you're watching from. In the meantime, we can talk a little bit about what we've done recently. So those of you who are joining, I can do a quick introduction. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Nobody has said whether or not you can hear me yet. My name is Joe Hatagwa. I am an American-born Sierra Leonean. I grew up here in the United States. I lived in Sierra Leone for a year just prior to moving back, and I also lived in Ghana for a little over a year in Sierra Leone, a little over 2.5 years in Ghana. So that has been my experience to date. This whole platform has been about, especially on YouTube, has been about me explaining what my life has been like and helping people understand what it could be like if you were to decide to move, visit, invest, date, start a job, start a business. That is what I have been speaking to people about. And, there've been some life changes in the last year. And so I'm continuing to, talk to you guys about what that experience might be, not just from my own experience, but from others. And then we're talking about other things that pertain to the continent of Africa, West Africa in general, of course, but all of Africa, because the entire continent is impacted by geopolitical issues. So we got Lady Keen in the building. Long time no speak. It's been a long time. I don't know how much you've caught up on. I'm in the United States now. Right now, I'm actually in Florida. I'll be here for not too much longer, heading back to New York before I head back here, and then before I travel out of country again. So I got some travel ahead, and I will definitely guys keep you guys posted on all of that as it's going. We got Tiggy in the building. What's up, Tiggy? So you said you can hear me. Good. Anne Marie Harding is back and in the building. You can hear me listening from London. Nice, nice, cool. So that's a few of you guys letting us know where you're watching from, and that you can hear me. So that's great. So today's topic, for those of you who are still just joining, today's topic is really what I miss about being in Africa, right? I mean, I've been in the United States 3 months now, back full time. It's been strange on a number of different fronts, and we'll talk about like all of the life events in more detail a little bit later. Out of respect for you know everything that's going on currently and everything that's happened over the last 8 months in terms of with the family. I will reserve that for a later date, but we will definitely be talking about all those things, and it will be it's not really it doesn't really have much to do with Africa, even though there are some elements that tie into the continent of Africa, and so there'll be some things to talk about there. But as of right now, I can only tell you what I can tell you about my own personal life, and we're going to talk about it. So we have Michelle Joyner is from Summertime, Chicago. Okay, nice. Nice. Well, welcome, Michelle. All right. So the question that I posed, not the question that I posed, but the statement that I posed for today is 3 months in Africa, 3 months in America. What do I miss? And I was just talking about this yesterday, and it's interesting, right? Because they're like the little things that you don't really think about until you come back. So there's a couple different things that I want to mention that I think that you guys will all find interesting, and I took for granted living on the continent of Africa. I know most people take for granted living in America or living in the West over living in Africa. Well, I took these things for granted living in Africa. So yesterday morning, I took about 45 minutes to cut up my fruits to begin to make a juice, my smoothies or whatever. And I thought about how that 45 minutes could have been used to work on a thumbnail, to work on, description, something else that I would normally work on in regards to YouTube videos or Instagram content creation. Um, and it took some time, first of all, to go find the fruits, to cut them all up, put them in the blender, all of that, 45 minutes to an hour. And when I was living in Ghana and in Sierra Leone, I had a housekeeper that could do that, right? So, in Sierra Leone, I was paying a little over $60 or so because she was only coming twice a week. And in Ghana, I was paying over a little over $100 a month. And she was coming to my house 5 days a week. And for that fee, you really can, kind of free up your time and have all the things that you want done. Laundry, food prep, cleaning the house. I happen to be at my mother's house right now, so she has a washer and dryer, and so my laundry is being done here because she has a washer and dryer here. But when I'm in New York, I go to the laundromat. I still have them do it because I don't, reading the 4 Hour Work Week, I do not do the things that other people can do well. So, and if anybody ever needs a good read, 4 Hour Work Week was helpful for me for outsourcing what I do. So anyway, so I do normally, but I still have to go to the laundromat. I still have to drop off the laundry and all of that. When I was in Ghana, and in Sierra Leone, I had someone doing my laundry for me. And it could be done specifically to my specifications, right? So if there's a specific shirt that I'm like, you know what, be careful when you're washing this, like if you're hand washing it, or when you're hanging it up somewhere, let's hang it up here. There's just you can have, like, if you give up the control of having someone else do it, then in the States, then you are going to be prone to different things like shrinkage, stuff being put in the dryer, um s- clothes being washed in different together with other clothes. And although these are like small things, they do add up to larger nuisances if you're trying to be as productive as I am trying to be. As many of you might know, I have a full-time job, which is uh, a busy one. I'm VP of Audience Solutions for a multinational startup, and I'm also running this platform. And so, as much as possible, I like to outsource the work that I do, so I don't have to do it every day. And so, that's one of the things I miss about being in Africa, specifically Ghana and Sierra Leone. And I know people in Nigeria who have the same thing. So that's the first thing I miss. I want to get to some people because there's some comments and thoughts. So I want to get to some people and read their comments and thoughts before I move on to some of the other things that I miss. Um, so Lawrence Lahai says, Lawrence, Sierra Leonean based in Atlanta. You can hear me. Great. Okay, we had Michael Saint. Um, is in Freetown. Shout out to Michael in Freetown. Charles Murphy is it Brunswick, Georgia, by way of Kenema. Nice, Charles. What's up, Charles? Spicy D. Oh, Spicy D254. If I can get your comment up on the screen, the computer's moving extra slow. Hello, everyone. Hello, the host. What's up, Spicy D? Welcome. Uh, Cliff. Cliff was asking Sorry, just joined. Where in the US are you based? Generally based in New York City. As of right now, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. Royal Bloodline says, good afternoon. What's up, Royal Bloodline? And Sang Bay, what's up, bro? Good to see you, Joe. I'm in Memphis until tomorrow. Nice. Well, I am in Florida until soon. I haven't booked my ticket back to New York yet, but I'll be back in New York shortly. So, those of you who are just joining, as I mentioned, the conversation today is 3 months living in America, back in America. What do I miss about Africa? And the first topic was just some of the basics, right? Like I had a housekeeper in Ghana and I had a housekeeper separately in Sierra Leone. Cleaning, laundry, clothes. Those are all huge, right? Like, I mean, for me, each of those elements take up a specific amount of time. I mean, I went to boarding school where I had to clean up after 11 other kids. And so I'm used to doing large amounts of laundry. I'm used to cleaning dirty bathrooms. I'm used to vacuuming long hallways and big areas. And so I've always cleaned up after myself, no matter where I've lived throughout my adult life, just because that was instilled in me through the boarding school that I went to. And I also did my own laundry. We had to do laundry for everybody. So, done laundry, meal prep, not so much, where I grew up in boarding school, but like I had to do my own meal prep, after leaving high school. And so, that was all eliminated as tasks and duties when I was living in West Africa. And as I mentioned, Sierra Leone was $50 for a woman to come to my house twice a week, and in Sierra Leone it's about $107 for a woman to come to my house five. And sorry, in Ghana, it was about $107 for a woman to come to my house 5 times a week. And so I kind of took that for granted. It was just like a part of my everyday life. And you kind of forget that when you have somebody doing those things for you, when you come back home, those things change. And so because of that, coming back to the United States, there has been some negative impacts on me. For example, I was eating when I was in Ghana, I was eating salad every day for lunch, and I was eating, I was consuming fruits and vegetables for breakfast. Um, since coming to the States, because when it comes to meal prep, I just don't have the bandwidth to do a ton of meal prepping. Even just the juicing and stuff like that for the week. I do the juicing, but I don't do the, cutting up of carrots, cucumbers, tomatoes and all of that to put in the salad. And so I've gained 15 pounds just because of all the carbs that I'm ingesting um, from eating sandwiches for lunch, just because I'm on the run all the time. And so, and then of course, I'm also eating differently for dinner. I'm still eating plant-based food, but living in the United States, there are many plant-based options that are still unhealthy, right? French fries are vegan, you know and there are a few restaurants near me that can order and I can get my food within 45 minutes, so I can be productive at my computer doing whatever it is I'm doing. Food can get delivered and then I eat. And so is that is that a terrible thing? No. I mean, I gained 15 pounds. Some might say I should have gained the 15 pounds. For me, I prefer to be at the weight that I was previously. So like I said, it can seem minor, but it's so much easier to live in Africa with these folks that can do these things for you. It changes everything for you. If you no longer have to think about cleaning your house, if you no longer have to think about doing your laundry, you no longer have to think about preparing your food. That eliminates, like, in terms of the household, that eliminates almost 50% or more of the activity and the work that usually take up Saturdays or multiple days per week. It's completely eliminated. So I definitely miss that. And so I did want to start with that topic because, people always ask me about that. you know, what's it like to have a housekeeper? And I never had a housekeeper in America. I think I might have told you all. And when I lived in Los Angeles, I used to pay a guy $100 a month to come once a month to my house and clean for me. And that was $100. And I was paying $100 in Ghana to do that. So, it's just a much different environment to be in. So, some more comments and thoughts from folks. Sangbei says, I can imagine you miss the fresh eats. Also, personally, I crave the white pineapple. Yeah, so that's a good point. There's a lot of genetically modified fruits and vegetables here. I don't know if you guys ever seen that trick with watermelon where you kind of bend it and the watermelon bends here in the United States. I don't know what it is, but it's like seedless watermelon. Um, and I was getting fresh watermelon right out of the ground, pineapples that were freshly grown, bananas that were freshly grown, right? Just all the fruits and vegetables that were just so much healthier because, well, I wouldn't, I presume their health benefits because they're organic and natural. Sierra Leone, in particular, doesn't use pesticides and doesn't use a lot of the kinds of fertilizers that many other countries use. And so you get more organic fruits and vegetables that just grow out of the ground the way they grow, and you eat them that way. Here in the United States, as you guys know, food is mass produced here. That is not the way it is. And so you're not getting the same nutritional benefits from the food that you're eating here, even if it is quote unquote healthy, or even if it is quote unquote organic. So that's a big difference. And you can taste the difference in your fruits and vegetables here. So that was a good point, Sangbei. I think Tiggy's laughing about the ease of bad food, how easy it is to get bad food in the U.S. So we got Mrs. Hope Talk says, "You're from Ghana by way of New Jersey, nice." Lady Keen says, "How's your mom's house coming along? Is it finished? Is there a video of you doing a walkthrough of your home?" Great question, Lady Keen. So, um, many of you guys who've been following for a while know that I've been building a house in Sierra Leone, and my mother and I, you know, and the plan was always going to be for her to move into the house, and so we have finished the guest house, which is a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, which is where I was staying when I was in Sierra Leone. So from October of last year through April of 2024, I was living in that 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom guest house. My mom actually came to visit, and she was there for about 2 weeks. So many of you guys might know I went live while she was in the house those 2 weeks. And it is a guest house, and it's meant to be a place to stay while the main house is being built. So it doesn't have all the amenities, and it's not built exactly to the same specifications as the main house will be that is being built. Um, so to answer your question, how's it coming along? The main house, the first floor, the windows, walls have all been up, right? So the windows, meaning the cutout for the windows have been done, cutout for the doors have been done, the walls are all up. Do I have a walkthrough? Not as of yet. So that has all been filmed and it is being edited. I have a backlog of videos that I need to put out. I owe people some deliverables from my trip to Tanzania, from my trip to Ghana. Those need to be put up first. And so those are going up first, and then you'll get a slew of real estate videos. So you guys should be on the lookout for that because that'll be interesting. I did a lot of tours of apartments in Ghana earlier last year. I went to tours of apartments in Ghana at the end of last year as well. I did a house tour and a couple of apartment tours in Sierra Leone. And so all of that's coming, and you'll get a chance to see what that looks like and what those costs might be. So you get an idea if you're planning to move there. So there's a ton of content coming on that. Think Vanessa Camby, how if you guys follow Vanessa Camby, many of you came from her channel when I did the interview with her so many years ago. Just expect you'll get some stuff like that, and even some of the same folks that she interviewed. You might see my interview with them and how that might be a little bit different. So the house in Sierra Leone, first floor is about, I would say the first floor is about 50% done. We still have to do all of the insides. We still have to float the roof. We still have to work on steps and all of that. But you guys will be able to get a chance to see all of that shortly. Just stay tuned. That's all coming. But it's not ready yet. It's been filmed, and like I said, it needs to be edited. But I got 3 editors now. So these 3 editors are working on different pieces of content to make sure that the other content gets out first, and then they'll help with all of this content too. Lady King says, "I'm in need of house help now. I'm too busy. Our food is horrible in the US. I started growing some of my own. I just harvested my first batch of red potatoes. My collard greens got eaten by some bug." Yeah. Welcome to the life of trying to eat naturally, right? Sorry that that happened. But yeah, I would love to be able to give you some advice and some insight on house help in America, but it's very costly here, right? It's cost prohibitive, as they say. For me, as I mentioned, what the price was in Sierra Leone, it was much easier for me there and in Ghana. So yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I don't have any house help, and so it's very difficult for me. So I mentioned the first thing I miss was the house help. The other thing that I miss, and this shouldn't be taken for granted either, is um, especially when I was in Ghana, was every time I went somewhere new, I heard Afro beats music. And I have grown to love Afro beats, and I'm a piano. And I know in the US, they play it in some places. They play what's usually widely recognized as big songs, right? So obviously Tyla gets played a good amount. That Joburg song or the Water song, right? But there are many other artists from South Africa that have really popular music across the continent of Africa that you guys don't get a chance to hear here in the United States as often. You have many other Afrobeats artists that are not just Burna Boy and Davido, right? Kid as well. I think maybe people might be familiar with them, but there are many other artists. There are Ghanaian Afrobeats artists, like Stonebwoy, Shatta Wale, right? Which you guys might remember did a song with Beyonce on the Black is King album, maybe I think something like that. And then you also have other artists from, Omale is a big artist in Nigeria from Nigeria. Music is amazing. I love Omale's music. Um, Rema is another artist you guys might be familiar with because of the Calm Down song. Ira Star, Thames, some of these people you might be familiar with, but they have a lot more music than what you hear here. And so I really miss that. That is something that has been challenging for me because I haven't really been listening to much music. And most of what I hear now is they're not like us, right? It's mostly Kendrick Lamar. It's on repeat always. So I would say that's another big thing is music. So one is the house help, two is the music, and then three. So besides house help and music, and I should have written these down. I'm going from memory, so forgive me, guys. It's been a crazy day. You have no idea what today has been like. That's a conversation for another time. But um, you know, the third thing. So it was music. It was no longer being a minority. I cannot express how empowering it is to be in the majority. And you know, you get this idea of entitlement, right? And from different people in the United States, these ideas of Kens and Karens, right? And people wonder why are they so entitled, like to think that everything is theirs and you're in their space, right? Um, and that's because people who look like them took over this country over 250 years ago, 300 years ago, I guess, and almost 300 years ago. And as part of that process, led them to believe that this like they're like almost like as if they're indigenous to the United States. And when you are in Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, some of the other places in Africa, I mean, not so much North Africa, but you find yourself being in the majority, and that gives you another sense of pride, of confidence, that is hard to explain unless you're dealing with it, especially in the work world. I happen to work for a minority run company here in the United States right now. And part of my selection process for what company I was going to work for was the fact that they were minority run and minority owned. But in in Africa, though, everywhere I worked or everywhere I went, we were in the majority and it just feels different. No way to explain it except to tell you go and you'll get it for sure. Um, so Sheku Sheriff is saying Spotify is a big help for hearing Afro beats music. Um, yeah. Kitchen Beast says, yo, what's up, Kitchen Beast? Yeah, so those are the three main things. I know that this is barely 25 minutes, but today's been a kind of a taxing day, and I have quite a bit of stuff that I need to do work-wise, and I just want to eat dinner and get some things done. I got a lot of catching up to do. I've been out of office the last couple of weeks for different things. And so, what I would like to do is get back to some of that. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. If you guys are interested in sharing this, please do share this with other folks who want to know, when you come back, what are some of the things that you take for granted that you have there that you don't have here? They might find this interesting. If you found this interesting, hit that thumbs up. Thank you all of you who actually I'm still live. Yeah, somebody here. Okay, I'm still live. Sorry guys. We have guests here. I have to go. I'm getting kicked off alive because there's people here. Um, Let me close the door really quickly. Sorry, guys. So I will have to talk to you guys later. All right, bye, guys.